between the lines, it's love defined. Red flags, green flags, late night grind. Text left on red, tell me what's on your mind. Is it passion or just the vibe? It's compatibility over butterflies. Say what you feel but never get to say. Decoding all the games that people play. If it's real or do we let it slide? Welcome to Between the Lines. Between the Lines.
Yes, oh my goodness. Once again, thank you for joining us. This is Between the Lines with Vayne, of course. And make sure you locked in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. AST, right here on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere you could find podcasts available. This is the place where we talk about love, relationships, and everything in between, okay? And we like to have a good time, a judgment-free zone, so sit back, relax, and I know that you're gonna enjoy this episode. Of course, this episode is powered by Kabisa Energy Drink. Shout out to Halal Eats as well as the Bionic Shop. And we also have, shout out to Vibrant Boutique on the hookup. You know what I mean? Brianna, big up yourself. We cannot forget about Interior Avenue Inc. And we certainly cannot forget about Caribbean Elite Magazine, our very new partners. Well, not new to me, but you know what I mean? Just saying, putting y'all on. New partners, because I do have an article inside of the magazine called The Heartline, where you could ask me any question. I'm not an expert, okay? But I will give you my opinion, or you can tell me anything. Or if you just want to send an email, send it to betweenthelines@vayne@gmail.com. If you want to check out all the behind the scenes clips and all the fun stuff that we do, make sure you're following us on Instagram at betweenthelines_Vayne. I believe I said everything. Hello, did I say everything? I got my team, I got the thumbs up. that means we're ready to go. So what I wanted to say about today's topic. Let me, just as honest as I can be. Some people know that Between the Lines started as an Instagram live during COVID, right? So we brought it back, but I was very hesitant to bring it back. Like for years, people have been telling me or asking, V, you need to drop this as a podcast. And I was on the fence. But there was something that really took me over the fence. And it was a phone call, a message that I received for New Year's. I got, people message you saying Happy New Year's, hope you're good, that type of thing. And I received one from somebody, we don't speak often, maybe every few months she may send a message or I may say hello. And she said Happy New Year's. I'm like, hey, hope all is well with you. And she said, actually, I'm broken. And it literally threw me off because I wasn't expecting her to say that. And what she told me, without saying too much, was that she was dealing with heartbreak. Like her heart is broken. And this is from a breakup that happened months ago. And it hit me in that moment that, wow, like, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's, back to back to back. A lot of people lost loved ones, and those holidays are hard for them. A lot of people, whether it's actual death or a breakup, it's not easy for a lot of people. And sometimes we forget that. Because we're so busy celebrating our love and who we have here, we forget that some people are mourning, some people are grieving. So when I got that, honestly, that was it. That if I said, God, if I ain't need any other sign, that was the one. Shout out to my cousin, shout out to my friend, shout out to everybody who was trying to get me to bring it back, and I was fighting it. But the person knows who she is. You know I'm here with you. And we're going to get through this together. And the reason I kind of, my tone is a little bit more serious is because there was something that she said in that message, and that had to do with a thought of being unaliving, right? So that's how I knew that this is not a joke thing for some people. I know that some people easily get over breakups, and we're going to talk about that and rebound and do all this stuff and get over and, all that stuff. And I don't, this conversation is obviously it will be light and as well, but I do want everybody to know, or there may be two people watching, even if it's just one or two persons watching, that, I do take this seriously, and it's not a joke to me. And I feel you. I've been there, right? So yeah. So on that note, hey, on that note, let's bring it back up. I can't have this conversation by myself. I would not have this conversation by myself. I do have a wonderful guest in the building. She is a wonderful attorney who specializes in employment law. She is from the beautiful, wonderful island of Jamaica, of course, represent in out the building, you know what I mean? Representing. And also, the reason I chose her in particular, besides the fact that she was my attorney at one point for a situation, and she dealt with it. She dealt with it. Let me tell you. I'm gonna put her contact information on at the end of the program. But there was a passion project that she was working on that caught my attention, and it had to do a lot with not a lot. It's suicide, right? And suicide prevention, and that's what caught my attention. So if you could now, based on what I said, the reason that that sparked me to bring back Between the Lines, you could understand why I would want to bring this particular person, wonderful, amazing woman, human being, on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, roll out the red carpet. Michelle Russell is in the building.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Always happy to speak on these topics.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, while part of the passion is for suicide prevention, it's the broader scope of mental health in general.
Yes.
Because it's a part that's overlooked. We go to school and we study to improve ourselves academically, for financial health and wealth. We do it for physical health. We pay attention to diets, exercise, everything. And the one thing that doesn't get sufficient attention is our mental well-being and our emotional well-being, because it still has that stigma where we somehow mix up mental health and mental illness. They're not the same thing. The reason we focus on the health of the thing is to prevent the illness of the thing. And so that is where my passion is. Let us focus on being mentally well and being able to cope with life stressors, because the reality is, we can't avoid stress. We can't avoid heartbreak. We can't avoid failure. We can't avoid the uncertainties of life. And if we don't have proper coping mechanisms, we get to the point where when things aren't going our way, and if it's a sustained period, we get to the point where, why am I here? And how can I get out of here? And I always hope to be able to give somebody the tools, not just pretty talk. Me not in the pretty talk team. The tools to be able to navigate those rough spaces.
And not just... obviously suicide is like, or I don't, unalive, and I don't know, everybody has different terms, but we'll say suicide for the purposes of this show. But there are other things as well, domestic violence, or just fighting. You notice like people just don't know how to handle it. And sometimes I find in different countries, like when you hear about murder rates, a lot, sometimes it has to do, it's either drugs, or somebody got their heart broken, somebody got cheated on, somebody didn't know how to handle something, somebody didn't know how to communicate something, somebody is they don't know how to handle somebody pulling away from them. You know what I mean? So we're gonna focus. I would like to focus. Obviously, there's a broad. This is a broad topic, but Between the Lines is about love and relationships. So I want to stick to that, if you don't mind.
Of course, happily.
And the people that so before we hey, before we get too caught away or we run away too far, we still have to have a word of the night. And the word of the night is, I don't remember what's the word of the night. Somebody tell me. Oh, it's rebound. I didn't even need to look at the card. We don't need the cards. I got this. Let me tell you, I got this. The word of the night is rebound. And so if you're new here, when I say the word of the night, or if Michelle says the word of the night, you take a sip of whatever you are drinking, whether that is water, whether that is, I don't know, juice or wine. You got a bottle of wine and, whatever. Or you could be drinking Kabisa energy drink, and that is what we're going to have a sip on. Michelle, have you tried Kabisa before?
No, this will be my first time.
Oh my goodness! No pressure. Oh, let me keep my hands down here, because sometimes I get a little wild.
Oh yeah,
I get a little carried away.
The energy drink, right?
The energy drink. All right. So which one would you like to try? So we have different flavors of the party version. It has a little alcohol in that one. You got the sugar-free version.
I don't think it's a drink if it doesn't have sugar.
Uh-oh.
I'm a cocktail kind of girl anyway.
You got spicy ginger. You got
No.
pina colada.
Pepper don't belong in drinks. I'm gonna go with the pina colada.
All right, let's do that. And I would try to party. Because, you know, it's a judgment-free zone. Somebody in this room is judging me right now, and I need them to not. I need them to not. You ready?
Oh, so we open.
We're going to
Okay.
be careful with the carpet. Shout out to Interior Avenue Inc. Now, this episode of Between the Lines is powered by Kabisa Energy Drinks. So good, so delicious. Now, I know you've been listening and I know you've been watching. You should know by now. One of my favorites, definitely the Kabisa Pure, which is made with absolutely zero sugar. And then I have another one. If you couldn't tell by now that it's Kabisa Party, you know, got a little bit of vodka in there. You know what I mean? When you're ready to turn it all the way up, Kabisa has you covered. I'm talking about real Caribbean vibes in a can. The entire range of Kabisa drinks is now available island-wide. When I'm talking about island, you already know I'm talking about the beautiful island of Barbados. Made with real fruit, no artificial flavor, and a vibe you can always taste. Now make sure you're following Kabisa on social media. Of course, that is at Kabisa_Barbados. And of course, you can see right there. I hope you can see how you spell it. It's spelled with a Kabisa. Yeah, Kabisa Energy Drink. Boom. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. No, I've been asking all the guests this because I really want to know. When we did the cheers just now. We looked each other in the eye. Does that have any meaning to you? Like, do you do that intentionally?
We looked each other in the eye?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I didn't realize I did.
No. You don't do it intentionally, so you just do it. Have you heard anything about this? Never.
I'm still going back in my head thinking, I remember thinking I don't want the cup to spill. So I was looking more at the cup than your eyes, but you have nice eyes.
No.
Like, I don't know if it means something, but
Yeah. No, all right. So what I know this to mean, when I'm cheersing with anybody, my friends, family, anybody, you cheers. You gotta, yes. And what I know it to be is so you don't have 7 years of bad sex. That's a nigga that I've known.
Well, then.
You gotta make sure you do that from now on.
That might explain a lot.
Oh, all right.
Just leave it there.
Leave it right there. No, and then I had a guest who said it means bad luck, and then another person said it's like disrespectful if you don't look in the eye. I was like, no, but I had one person agree with me, and she knew exactly. Like, yeah, it's 7 years of bad sex. Tell me again in the comments. Don't leave me hanging, y'all. Hello, I know somebody else has heard of this. Anyhow, but that's what
Never
it is.
heard of that.
So y'all trying to tell me I'm making things up? Nah. Anyhow, let me get to the subject. Actually, this one I may have to, because it's a serious subject. I like to freestyle a lot of times and don't like look at the cards, but because it's a serious subject, I want to make sure we hit all the important points.
Can I just track back? There was something you said earlier about when you look at a lot of the murder rates, etc. You realize it's about people who essentially were acting out. And that is my way of saying it. They didn't know how to hold the anger, how to hold the pain.
Yeah.
And beneath all of that is dysregulation, you know. They have emotions. We don't grow up learning how to handle emotions. We are told we're only allowed the good, quote unquote, good ones.
Yeah.
And not the bad ones, except men are told they can hold anger. Women are told anger is unattractive and ladies don't get angry. So that we walk through most of our lives only knowing joy, celebration, and anger. Anything else we try to stuff down, but emotions are energy and they're neutral. They just are. They aren't good or bad, they are. But as energy, it must be transformed from one form to the other. So if you're stuffing down your frustration, you're stuffing down your anxiety, you're stuffing down your worry, your concern, it's going to come out one way or the other. And more often than not, it's that we act things out. So like when you don't feel safe to express how you feel, you can act out. So they're those people who they're washing the dishes and they're just slamming down everything. They're not telling you anything, no, but them slamming the dishes, them slamming the door. And eventually you look and say, is there something you want to say? Because that's how we tend to do it. We act out our emotions one way or the other. And those are mild ways. Now imagine when the emotion is big. And and you can't hold it because it's too heavy.
Yeah.
It starts to manifest in much bigger and more destructive ways personally and to those around us.
Yeah.
And to me, when you talk about heartbreak, there is no greater pain, because you mentioned mourning and grieving, but we go through the same stages when we lose someone we love. It's not just when they die. It literally mirrors the same mourning process. So imagine if you are dysregulated.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find somewhere to put that emotion. You're trying to figure out what to do with it. That's when we get erratic. We're slashing tires. We're driving down somebody to see where they're going.
Who was we?
I go say we, It is just an acting note. It's a dysregulation. And that's why I say for me, it's all about the tools to hold the emotion, not to suppress it. Because there's this girl on Instagram. She's in Barbados. She does, I only see all the ads. I don't know her, but I like to see the ad.
Okay.
And the short version of it, she said that a lot of people think that if they stop feeling, it means they're healed. And it's absolutely wrong. Healing, you have to feel. So if you're numb, I assure you, all you did was stuff down. And you act it out. One way or the other.
Yeah. I actually said this recently, and I don't mind repeating it. And it's something that I chose to do through a breakup, which was to not rebound. That's the word of the night.
Right. Here we go.
To not avoid. Good. To go to therapy. To hang out with my friends, try yoga, go back to the gym, journal. All the things that people recommend you to do. And does it, in that time, when I was going through that, like, did it hurt? Yeah. Was it easy? No, absolutely not. Because what I used to do was do the rebound thing. Not calling it
You said it again.
Oh, Lord.
Looks like we're going to be drinking a lot today. I should have eaten more.
Yeah, and I find that a lot of people do that. So we could go straight into that. Like, do you have, outside of what I just named, like after a breakup, what are some healthy ways? Let's do this. What are some unhealthy ways? I name both. What are some unhealthy ways that people typically go? What are the go-tos typically?
So the undercurrent is avoidance. Once there is heartbreak, it's a big emotion.
Yeah.
It's hard to carry. We don't want to feel it, and we'll do anything to not feel, hence avoidance, escapism. Some people pour themselves into work, All of a sudden, you're super successful. You're making all kind of money, and people depend, that man was never good for you. Look how much better you are now. That time, your pain has not moved because it's been avoided by pouring yourself into work.
Yeah.
Some people, it is partying. We know the addictive stuff, the drinking, the weed, whatever it takes to not feel. And of course, the rebound. Because the aim is to not feel your pain. And to transform it into something else, into excitement, into distraction, into anything that doesn't look like what is really going on the outside. So the drinking, the smoking, the overworking, even pouring yourself into way too many activities, underneath it is avoidance. Even not every breakup requires therapy. Yeah. Therapy is very good, especially if you lost pieces of yourself and you need to be able to reconstruct and heal and forgive yourself or forgive others. Right, therapy is excellent. But therapy can only carry so far because healing requires feeling the thing you're running from.
Oh, for sure.
So, we could, anything that looks like avoidance, it's that you don't want to feel, you're partying all the time. You're spending all your time with your friends. Yeah. Anything to not be alone because that's when the thoughts come back. Or the people who, they need that shot of whiskey to go to sleep. Yeah. You know why? They're not sleeping because the subconscious comes alive when we go to bed, Right. It would keep us up. Yeah. And I don't know the right stats. I can't say it right. Yeah. But our subconscious brain processes millions of thoughts per minute versus our conscious brain. Correct. Now imagine that. Imagine when you're now in the state of rest and everything's coming back to the fore. Everything you avoided today, all the feelings, they're coming back. You can't sleep. So we think, you know what? Rather than deal with the thing that's causing us not to sleep, let me drink something. Let me take another tablet. Anything but face.
Okay. All right. That was good. I think that I just had a lot of thoughts across my brain as well. So we talked about what people typically do, which is mainly avoid, however that avoidance looks. I think that and people run from the pain of that. And we could get on the topic that makes us sip. But in doing that, before I say the word again, because in doing that topic, y'all know, because y'all been watching and y'all can rewind it. It's on YouTube, okay? You're now potentially bringing somebody else into your pain cycle. Who is...
Not potentially, definitely.
Right. So now and maybe you're honest with them, maybe you're not. But now they're involved in this process. So before we get into that, let's talk about, you named the healthy things.
I didn't name the healthy
So let's name some of the healthy things.
No, to be clear, I might sound good talking about this, right? But it's years of learning. And people are probably saying, why is this attorney talking about anything to do with mental health? Good question. I'm not an expert, and I'm not putting myself forward as an expert. I lived this life, I lived going through suicidal thoughts, ideations, tendencies. I lived it. I lived through being diagnosed with depression. Even at one point, they called it bipolar disorder, which I disagree with, but that's a whole different thing. I had a very, very long journey that couldn't easily be fixed. And I think it's because sometimes it's just mislabeled. And if we're willing to strip away how people act out and look beneath what it is, and we get to that core thing, you don't need all the medication. You don't need all of those things, even the labels. So this was lengthy, a long, long period of unlearning. And I tell people it is so much easier to learn something new than to unlearn something. It's in your core, it's conditioning, it's acting out in subconscious ways. But it is, there's this statement by what's his name? Can't remember his name right now, but he said, until we make the unconscious conscious, it will rule our lives and we'll call it fate.
Who is that? Wayne Dyer?
No, he is, I'm going to tell you throughout the episode, he is Carl Jung.
Okay.
Jung, Carl Jung. Until we make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to rule our lives and we'll call it fate. Now I can just touch on that in the rebound alone. I said it.
That was a deep one right there.
Yep.
That was a deep one. And it probably went over a lot of people's heads because it went over mine the first time you said it, but I got it the second time. That's what
because it's the thing that's underneath that rules our behavior. So imagine if what we're trying to do is avoid feeling pain.
Yeah.
The moment I go into this new relationship that I'm not ready for, and I feel like you're criticizing me, it might be a valid one. It might be constructive. It might be true. But in my last relationship, I always felt like I was never good enough. I'm now going to act out on you because I never healed that core wound.
Correct.
And so you keep feeling, you're walking on eggshells because you're like, I can't correct Michelle. Michelle can't. When it's really that, before the last relationship, you probably could have corrected Michelle. Michelle never healed the part of her that feels unworthy. As she's now projecting it on you and making you the problem. When the problem is that she didn't confront the thing inside of herself. And that's what healthy healing looks like.
All right, so let's
confronting.
Okay.
So it will take two parts, and they're awful. And I was very good at avoidance and running from. Oh my God. I would do anything to run from. Confronting yourself, what happened, and the choices you made and why. It requires being able to look at yourself without the mask. Because even we have masks in how we see ourselves. There are few of us who are willing to look at the truth of who we truly are. Because we love to look at the good things, And the bad things, we prop them up. And we say, well, I know I'm a little mean, but I'm not that mean.
So we're talking about accountability.
Definitely accountability. Why did I stay? We love to talk about, or why did I choose this person?
Or some things you actually probably did that you need to.
Why was I mean?
Yeah.
Why was I so dismissive?
Yeah.
Why? It's the why. And that it's an uncomfortable feeling because now you can't hide behind the stories you were telling yourself before. I only reacted that way because he was rough or she was rough. Really?
And you put everything on that person.
On them or some external. It's how I was raised.
Right.
I only sound aggressive because I'm Jamaican. Really? Is there more behind it?
Not the Jamaican part.
I know.
I know.
Any number of things.
Yeah.
So it's confronting the thing inside of you that makes those decisions and why. All of the decisions.
Yeah.
The good ones, the bad ones, everything, the stripping away, and then just feeling. I remember for my last breakup, I smiled to myself and said, boy, I've grown. Because a couple of years ago when I first had to do the feel to heal, man, I control tantrums. Because at the time I was working with a coach and, I follow the Eastern philosophies and stuff. And the basis of their philosophy is you have to become comfortable with discomfort. And I remember the first time she told me, I was like, that's dumb. It's called discomfort for a reason. Because if we liked it, it would then be comfort. Who came up with this? This is dumb. Y'all think that just because the Chinese say it must be real. I threw my tantrum. That's what I call it. When I hear it and it's kind of like, ouch, but I'm rejecting it. So I'm
fighting against it.
It was the best thing I ever learned.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you increase your tolerance for discomfort, you can handle more and you're running away less. You're acting out less. It's kind of like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You start off with a 2 pound, then a 5 pound, then a 20 pound. You're increasing your tolerance for discomfort.
If you are looking for real, authentic halal food, I'm talking about no shortcuts, no compromises, 100% halal. I'm talking about served fresh, made to order. You could come and you could dine in, you could call, you could take out, you could send a message on WhatsApp, whatever you want to do. If you're looking for lunch for yourself, dinner for your family, Halal Eats has something for you. They got pizza. They got tacos, they got burgers, chicken sandwiches, fish sandwiches, kebab platters. I mean, what else could you possibly want? You want a salad? They got you covered. Make sure you're following Halal Eats on social media at Halal Eats Barbados. And of course, they're on Instagram and they're on TikTok as well. So the next time you are in Barbados, and you were looking for authentic halal food, look no further than Halal Eats.
So that when somebody says, all right, today I want you to try the 50 pound, you know you've never tried it, but you're now willing to because you could watch your progress and say, well, I can do this rather than run from it. That's what feelings are. It's just a whole bunch of discomfort that if you don't train the muscle to be able to sit in that, you hear Vayne said she journaled. It's such a healthy way to deal with emotions because you feel the overflow of it. And sometimes it means crying. Sometimes it means screaming. Sometimes it means, you know,
punching a pillow.
But it's feeling it and letting the energy be transformed from one form to the other. But it requires tolerance for the uncomfortable emotions. A lot of it is just really about feeling in healthy ways. So for me, a couple years ago, the last breakup, you know, I was miserable and I'm trying to do this feeling to heal. I'm like, this is dumb. The feeling isn't going anywhere. It's been 5 days and it's still here. 2 weeks later, I thought it was supposed to be simpler than this. And it was me just not having the tolerance for the uncomfortable. And nothing I hate more than missing, you know. Because if me left you, miss what?
All right, hold on. Let me stick. Because we're gonna get on that too. So keep the flow of
So anytime I start to feel the missing, I would do anything to escape the missing, which is and I'm going to intellectualizing, which is it don't make sense to miss them. You know what you went through, and then rather than just feel the missing, I miss him. The end. I don't have to justify it. I don't have to explain it away. I don't have to push it away. I just have to be miserable in it. And what I learned from the feeling is that when you let feelings be, they pass by themselves. You know?
My goodness, I was gonna say that as well.
You don't have to push it anywhere. Nothing. It just passes. You don't even realize. And sometimes it's long. Sometimes it's weeks of getting up and feeling. And for me, I would have one song on repeat for weeks here, like because it's helping me process that emotion. And I'm miserable throughout it, but I just leave it. I let it be. And then one day I wake up and I don't need the song.
Right.
Or I don't feel the heaviness of the thing. Or I forgot for an hour and I'm like, there was an hour I didn't think about it. Yay, progress.
Right. I think the beautiful thing with actually confronting and feeling, and mind you, to your point, this isn't for every breakup, by the way. Like, because like you said, it depends on the reason for the breakup. I
think you always need to confront. It's a therapy you don't always need.
Right. But I'm saying the process isn't always as, you don't need to journal for every breakup necessarily. Right. But what I have found is that the quicker you confront it, feel it, let it hurt, the quicker you're going to get over it. And you can eventually get to a place where you're ready for a healthy love or a healthy situation. In my opinion, when you suppress it, when you run away, when you drink, whatever it is, not like us. This is casual. Okay, not like this. But when you do all the things, when you do let's just say rebound. When you rebound,
she did on purpose.
I did. To me, you prolong it.
You do,
right? So what happens is you get into a 6-month situationship or 10-month situationship after,
or 5 years,
or 10 years. When that one ends, you still gotta mourn and grieve the one before that. You know what I mean? So all you're really doing is hurting yourself in the long run and probably multiple other people in that process. And I feel like most people, and this is not a pointing fingers thing, because I was most people, don't have the strength, the emotional strength to be able to do that. And I also feel that for me, I was talking about emotional strength, but something we didn't say, it comes to, for me, praying. Sometimes, like you said, at night, your brain is going. So I will listen to either some kind of meditation, a sermon, or something. So that's what's gonna feed me my subconscious while I'm sleeping. That's what I want to process. So yeah, there was something else that I wanted to say.
No, but you're making a good point, which is we think that we often mix up adjusting and healing. We can adjust to the absence of someone.
Yeah.
We can adjust to a different life. We can adjust to someone new.
Yeah.
And we assume that because we've adjusted, we've healed. You can stay stuck in time with suppressed emotions. And this is why I like to use this example. You ever run into an ex 5 years down the line, 3 years down the line, and when you see them, you might have an initial reaction of either hesitation, anger, something, but there's no longing. But then the other person is like, you look so good. And then right after you get a text saying, man, I still love you or whatever. And you think to yourself, it's been 5 years. It's been, what have you been doing? Like, no, brother, man, no, brother.
It's been gone.
It's because time passed, but there was no healing for them.
Right.
And you too, you can find yourself stuck.
Yeah.
I remember there was this man that used to do some work for me. And it used to drive me crazy when he would tell me, because I'm Jamaican. He said he used to love this Jamaican girl. It was the love of his life and all kind of reason why it never worked out. And he's like, to this day, I've never found somebody I love as much. I'm like, you married and you got pick me. And he always says, if I ever got a chance today, I would do it again. And I say, this brother man married. He never healed. He moved on.
Yeah.
And that is why so many times we find ourselves in what Jada Pink can call it?
What? No,
I was about, you know what I mean, right? I was about to say when we find ourselves in compromising situations.
No, there was entanglement.
Entanglement. That's what she called it. Yeah. Because we have residual feelings.
Yeah.
Time passed and nothing changed. There's this man.
I don't got time for that. Let me tell you.
No, but most of us do it, one way or the other. Is only the last couple of years I can say I've not been doing it.
Correct. So let me just insert that. I've only got in the recent years come to this place.
Yes.
So it took me a long time to get here.
Long time. And intention.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't happen by accident.
No.
We didn't fall into a podcast or fall into meditation at night. We make conscious choices. Like you said, you journaled. You listen to certain things at night. You feed your brain differently. And she said we don't have the emotional strength, which goes back to the first point, the muscle.
Yeah.
We have to build our tolerance for discomfort.
Yeah.
Build the emotional strength to abstain. It's like discipline. But discipline for our emotions.
It's definitely discipline.
But we see discipline for our emotions in the case in the not doing versus in the doing.
Yeah.
It's discipline to feel, to let it run its path, to let myself feel the frustration, to let myself feel unworthy, to let myself feel it.
Yeah.
Because there's this, it doesn't matter. There's a philosophy that says, I am not my feelings. How I feel is not me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, feelings are neither good or bad. They're neutral. We put meaning on things,
Correct.
I feel this way because I was harmed.
Yeah.
Or it could be that you perceived you were harmed, which is true. That's why I say it goes back to the confrontation. We have to be able to examine, what story am I telling myself about this situation?
Yeah.
What story am I telling myself about what the person did? And I like to use this example. It's your birthday. And you expect your partner to show up for you in big ways. And them not call, them not write. And as the day goes by, you vex, understandably so. And it's a neutral event.
Yeah.
But now you start to add meaning. He
Correct.
never cared about me. She never loved me. She was always selfish. That time your partner got called into a meeting at work unexpectedly.
Right,
the phone dead. Them couldn't charge it because they could only charge it when them come out to the
And
meeting.
you have this whole...
this whole thing going on in your head about what it means. So that by the time they do get to you, they meet the version of you that says, you don't love me.
Right.
And you never did. It was just a story you told yourself. It wasn't necessarily true. And that's what we do with our feelings.
Yeah.
I feel unworthy, so I am unworthy.
Something I want to talk about. Well, one thing I want to say quickly, and then I wanted to switch gears, because I do think that you have to be, pina colada. I think you have to participate in your own rescue, right? But before we get to that, I wanted to say that for me, it was important for me to go through that. And I'm sure you mentioned like you now know how to heal properly and everything. Because for my current or next or whatever partner, I'm being very vague over here. Is you want the next person to get the healed version of you. You want the best chance for that relationship to work and flourish. There's no ex could message your phone to be able to jump anything inside of you. If you even answer, if you even respond, because I want to be able to give my all to whoever I'm choosing to give my time to. For me, that's why healing is important. It's not just for me, it's for us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, since the 1970s, the Bionic Shop has been supplying Barbadians with the very best in fashion. Now, I'm talking about workwear, event wear, holidays, and everything in between. The Bionic Shop has you covered. Every kind of suit you could think about. I'm talking about Diamante suits. Do you like velvet? They got velvet suits, plenty of different colors. Even if you want plaid, they got you covered as well. Not just suits, of course, you got nice shirts, you got casual shirts, you have shorts, you have jeans, everything inside of the Bionic Shop. You got nice shoes as well. And don't forget about the accessories, okay? You got gloves, you got scarves, you got ties, you got socks, you even have undergarments, okay? Everything you need and more inside of the Bionic Shop. Make sure the next time you are in Bridgetown, Barbados, of course, on Broad Street, located right next door to Soul Addiction, you have the Bionic Shop. Of course, make sure you're following the Bionic Shop on social media as well, at the Bionic Shop.
Thank you.
There was something there was something you had said before when you said it doesn't take long. Once you're willing to do the work, it really doesn't take as long. And there's this guy I follow on Instagram. He makes very good points about relationships. I think he's a pastor or something. But he said this thing that you take twice as long to heal as the duration of your relationship. So he says if you're in a relationship for 3 years, it's going to take you 6 years to truly heal and stuff. And I listened to him and I said, that's not true. Because time has no power. It's what you do with the time.
Oh, come on.
It has zero power. It's just time passing. And if you weren't doing the right thing during the time, 6 years later, you're still there. There's been no change. But as Vayne said, when you're doing the work, it could be in 3 months. It could be in 8 months. Don't get stuck in people who try to legislate it will only happen this way. Healing is not the straight line or a destination.
It's not linear.
You know. It's not. You're on the path, and like she said, showing up as our better self for the current, future, or whatever partner. It's about healing. Looks more like catching yourself. Until one day you're just not doing that thing anymore. Right. Catching yourself when you're irritable, catching yourself when you're projecting, catching yourself. Until you're less likely to do it. So they get the better version of yourself and you get the better version of you to you.
Something I want to definitely say before the end of this is that we spoke about things that you could do to help you, but there's another part of that has to go along with this. And this is to the person who messaged me for New Year's, and you know who you are, and a lot of people watching. Yes, the journaling. Yes, if therapy helps you. Yes, to yoga if that's what you need. But you also got to stop watching their social media. You also need to clear out their things from your space. You need to remove triggers if you can. This is you not driving by their workplace. This is you not driving past their house. And this is what I say, participate in your own rescue. Me, I don't want to see nothing. Matter of fact, I got to tell my friends, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want nothing. If I see something, let it be by mistake. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So you have to do that too. Like let your family, mom, I know you loved him, mom or dad, I know you loved her, him, whatever, but I don't want no updates. We're not together anymore. And I love y'all. I know y'all appreciate it. Please don't call them. Please don't try to heal nothing. Just that. So I think participating in your own rescue, it takes time. If you have to say, but Vayne, I can't stop looking at his Instagram. Yes, you can. So this is what we're going to do. Starting tomorrow, Because from the time you hear me say this now to tomorrow, that's 24 hours. So what you're going to do, you're going to put a piece of paper, you're going to put it on your wall somewhere where you can see it every day, a board or whatever. And tomorrow at this same time, you're going to put a tick. That's day 1. We just trying to get past the first 24 hours. I made it 24 hours. Oh, I didn't check his IG. Oh, next day, another tick. Next day, another tick. Next day, another tick. Guess what? You got a trigger. You slipped up. You checked his IG. You spiral. It's not the end of the world. You're human. But guess what? We're going to start again. So that day 3 gets to day 7. And what that in my mind, what that helps with is you're not continuing to hurt yourself, continuing to trigger yourself, because that person can post one picture with 2 glasses. Mind you, it's him with his mom at Champers, and you thinking, or Halal Eats, and you thinking that he left me, he done got married, and he's with the love of his life, and he's gonna forget about me. You don't know anything. So don't continue to hurt yourself. That's just my opinion.
I agree. But I've also found that if you do something before you're ready, you're more likely to relapse quicker.
Yeah.
I'm big on finding out. Let's inquire into, and compassionately. I believe in compassionate inquiry.
Yeah.
Why do I feel the need to check his Instagram? And then when you find the answer to that, it still goes further. Why is that? Why does it matter if there are 2 glasses? Why does it matter if he's moved on?
Yeah.
And when you can get to the root of that, and it reminds me of a video I shared some time back about work. And I said, oftentimes when we lose our jobs, because that's the space I'm in.
Yeah.
When you lose your job, it's a redefining of yourself, especially if you were there for a long time. And the initial mourning and grieving is, what am I going to do now? Who am I now? Because you define so much of yourself by what you do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go through this phase of wondering, will I be able to succeed again? And I keep saying, your ability to succeed is not attached to any one person or job.
Yeah.
But that's the truth for relationships too. More often than not, when we're holding on to the thing that was, it's what we're telling ourselves about what it means about who we are.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get another relationship as good. But why do you think you don't deserve another relationship as good? And I'm not even talking about this all, nah, boo boo, I'm going to do better than you. No, I ain't talking about that. Because that also, underneath that ain't anything good.
Yeah.
It's the, why do I think my life is defined by this person and the love I had there? And what's it about? And generally, once you can find the answer, it gets you to sit back a bit, You're kind of, you're less, it's a dopamine hit. When you look on the Instagram, you're getting a dopamine hit one way or the other.
Yeah.
You're less likely to feel the addiction to the dopamine that drives you to check anyway.
Yeah.
But what's underneath that? And until you confront that, I assure you, you're going to find a backdoor way of finding out what's going on.
What was going on. Another thing that I wanted to just make sure that, to let people know that I understand, you're not mourning necessarily just the person. You're mourning that vacation that y'all were supposed to go on. You're mourning
the future that you had planned.
All the plans that you had, all of a sudden you're like, what happened? And sometimes when you go through the process, also you gotta sit with yourself as well. Sometimes you're thinking, do you really miss that person specifically, or do you miss having a companion? Sometimes it's like you gotta dig deeper with that as well. Like, you know what I mean? Do I miss them actually, or do I miss who I thought they were? Do I miss what I projected them, what I wanted them to be?
Yeah.
But not who they actually are.
Yes.
Do I miss the version I wanted them to be in my mind?
Yes.
But the reality is the reality. And the reality also, to some people, whatever your situation is, that person is not there right now. Not to say they will never be. Maybe they shouldn't be. But sometimes you just got to just deal with what you're dealing with right now. And like you said, confront it.
One of my favorite things while you look for your card is I ask myself, who did I have to become to make this relationship work? And do I like her?
Do you?
For the last one, no, I didn't like who I became.
Do you like who you are now?
Love. Love. And it's who I was before I got into the relationship and who I'd started to grow into.
Yeah.
But some of that just wasn't helping it to be a peaceful coexistence. So you start to You compromise. You know, I saw somebody say, we don't lose ourselves all at once. It's one compromise at a time. And so I found myself, every time I felt like, I wish it was there and, you know, maybe I should have tried harder. I go, but did you like yourself? Did you like who you had to become? Are you willing to go back to that?
Yeah.
And I was like,
But the beautiful part is your current or your next is going to get the best version of you. Sorry for your exes, but they're going to get the best version of you so far. Because we're always growing. We're never perfect. But that's if you do the work. Not just saying any next relationship. No. But if you do the work, not to say that you're going to get it right every time, because you won't. No, nobody would. We're human. But if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to confront yourself, I believe that the next person, if they're a healthy person for you, they would appreciate that.
and that matters because we often make that mistake too. We've been doing the work and we choose someone who is still unhealed. And then we have to go through it all over again.
Yeah.
If you're doing the work, you deserve someone who's willing to do the work too and who actively does it without prompting, without you on them, you know, because otherwise it just leads back to the same place.
Which is why, to me, I believe in taking things slow and not rushing to put a title on anything and just really using your discernment. And when the red flag pops up, don't just call it pink. It's redder than this shirt I have on right now.
Exactly.
You're more red. I don't know what the proper terminology is, but anyhow, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm wearing a red sweatshirt. So yeah. I think that is also important.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so you don't waste your time. And I really believe in doing the work that helps you to recognize when somebody else hasn't. It just sticks out. You can't, I mean, like, I talk to people and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And somebody could be so attractive. A lot of times, I think Damian Marley said this, until you hear them hear how they think.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, never mind. That went out the window. Next. Anyhow, that was a wonderful conversation.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I really do. I could go on and on and on about heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I would like to say this.
Yes, please.
Unconventional view, so warning. Society teaches us to judge the success of a relationship based on duration. The longer the duration is, the more successful, and we like to wear it like a badge of honor. We have what, silver anniversary and gold and whatever colors they are, because the fact of the length is more important than the quality. And so we judge ourselves as failures when it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Especially for those who are married and had to divorce. Don't chase tenure. Tenure only matters in a job, maybe. In your profession. Chase quality, because if you had to lose so much of yourself along the way just to make this 10 and 20 and 30-year relationship, what did you really win?
Yeah.
Your roommates, you're literally roommates, barely like each other, but you're going 10. Oh, look, it's our 20th year. No, you're not a failure because it didn't work. It actually takes bravery to walk away. Most people stay because it's hard to leave. Bravery is in making a choice that makes you a better person and them a better person. Because I always say, stay in a relationship as long as it's healthy and it's bringing out the best version of both of you. And the moment it starts doing the opposite, both of you need to be strong enough to say, I don't want to stay till we can't stand each other. I would like us to leave while there's still some love and respect left. And I hope you find a healthier person and a healthier love with someone else. And it's okay if they love someone else. And there are 2 glasses at Champers. It's okay.
Even if it's their mom.
Even if it's their mom. You know, it's okay. You're not a failure because it didn't work. You were actually, it's quite the opposite. The courage to leave. We don't give enough credit to.
I also want to say, I think people assume, and we don't have to stick on this point too long because I think there's something else I want to chat to you about quickly. But the person who did the breaking up could hurt as well. It's like, it doesn't mean that just because you're the person who was broken up with, sometimes it's not an easy decision for a person to do. That doesn't mean it's always, you know, they're always hurting, but sometimes they do. And another point I wanted to say was, even if like there was a breakup and you've detached months before, or you knew it was over or whatever, y'all were living together, even though you may not need to go through this healing journey that we spoke through, I personally still feel like you still need to have some time. You should have some time to yourself to just process it and feel without them in your space, without putting somebody else directly into your space, and be okay with being just with you.
Figuring yourself out, because who you would choose as one version of yourself is not necessarily who you choose as another version of yourself.
Facts.
Don't bring someone into that while you're figuring it out. Because after it, you might realize, you're nice, but this isn't what I want.
Because that was a rebound.
It's not always.
No, I just wanted.
Damn. Rebound.
I got her.
Rebound, she did.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You were talking. I cut you off.
It matters. Because sometimes we don't mean to hurt people, but we unconsciously do it because we didn't slow down.
Yeah. Well, all right. I think this was everything that I had to say. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah. I didn't even need that.
Suicide part?
Oh, please. Let's do that. Let's do. This is gonna be like our final. We're gonna end it on this note. Yes, ma'am.
Especially when you define yourself by this joint relationship and this joint life, the reconstructing is hard. And change is slow. I always remember that Obama said it, change is slow. And the waiting for something you can't see is painstakingly hard.
Yeah.
It is tempting to think the easier version is to not be here. I have nothing else to live for. Why am I even trying? And that goes down to what you believe you deserve and what you think of yourself.
Yeah.
I need you to believe there's more. Because I don't say this a lot.
You can look at that camera. You can look.
I don't say this a lot, but I remember in 2013, I tried. I tried. Was it 2011? I tried. I was done. I went through breakups. And it was just like one broken heart after the next, and all kinds of other madness was going on in my life. And I tried. And I remember, it's so funny, it's a friend from Jamaica that set the alarm bells off. And I won't go into the details, but I was vexed with her for a full year. I wouldn't talk to her. I felt like she robbed me of my choice. And to this, I remember it took me years. There was somebody who came to my house and intervened. And it took me years to go to him and say, there was no way I could have seen then what my life would have been now. And I'm glad you came. I literally said that to him, because how my life is now, there was no clue. And if you just wait out a bit and believe just a little longer, and I don't believe in platitudes. It's going to be hard. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be confusing. But I need you to believe you deserve more. And when you start from but I do deserve more than this, you'd be surprised how you can start to create your reality. But when you stay stuck in it will never get better. I assure you, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way, you're right. Choose the one that has a bit more light at the end.
Yeah.
I reach out. There are hotlines. Hell, reach out to me if you want. We could talk it through. I could guide you to resources.
Yeah.
But don't give up just yet. You are more than your job. You are more than who you dated. You are more than just a wife, a girlfriend, a mother. You're way more. Allow yourself to find that.
That was beautiful. I don't think I could have ended it any better than that. Michelle Russell, thank you so much for passing through, stopping by to speak your mind. I had a wonderful time. That was a beautiful conversation and a needed conversation.
Yes.
And my hope is that even if it's just one person out there, this made a difference for you, that's everything to me.
Yeah.
Everything.
You got to respect Vayne, right? Because, sorry, I'm tearing up.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know why. People don't like vulnerability because it feels like weakness. And I remember when you called me and you said, it's a vulnerable topic. I want us to touch it because people need it. I need you to be able to sit in the discomfort of the crying and the reach out. That friend who reached out to you on New Year's Day was braver than she knew because she didn't stay there and drown there silently. There are so many people who don't recover well after heartbreak. And we're both here to tell you, you can. You can. Allow us to help you believe that. And then we can help to guide you to where you need to go.
Yeah. Woo! Yes. That was a needed one right there. Thanks Michelle, once again, thank you to everybody who locked in. Thank you to all of our partners who made this special. Shout out to Halal Eats. Of course, the Bionic Shop. We have Kabisa Energy Drink, Vibrant Boutique with this beautiful red sweatshirt that I have on here, and other outfits that you would have seen me wear as well. Interior Avenue Inc. for this wonderful set. And of course, Caribbean Elite Magazine. Of course, remember to check out the Heartline with Vayne. And of course, that is an article that comes out with the magazine. You can check them out, CaribbeanElite.com. And of course, remember, they are the ones who brought you the Caribbean Music Awards. So I'm going to have information coming up for that. And of course, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Between the Lines Vayne. If you need to send an email, if you want to ask a question, send an email to betweenthelines.vayne@gmail.com. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. AST, we are right here. We got you covered. And of course, make sure you're following us on all the platforms. And there you have it. Later.
Bye.